Americans rely on the FDA to evaluate whether medical products, such as drugs, diagnostic tests, and other medical devices, have been shown to be safe and effective.
Corrective and preventive action. Corrective action is an action that eliminates the cause of a nonconformity and to prevent reoccurrence. Preventive action eliminates the cause of a potential nonconformity or other potentially undesirable situations. CAPA has two main requirements. The first one is divided into 7 sub-requirements essentially, and will be explained in the next 7 slides. This main requirement is each manufacturer shall establish and maintain procedures for implementing corrective and preventive action.
So in the CAPA procedures that medical device manufacturers are required to have by the FDA, there needs to be a portion that addresses analyzing processes, work operations, concessions, quality audit reports, quality records, service records, complaints, returned product, and other sources of quality data to identify existing and potential causes of non-conforming product or other quality problems. And in this case, non-conforming product is any product that doesn't meet the standards set by the manufacturer when they brought the product to market. And so in addition to this, manufacturers need to employ a statistical methodology to detect recurring quality problems. So let's say we have a complaint given a specific issue. Companies need to be able to determine if that's an isolated incident and only that specific device having that issue, or if this is something that is a widespread issue with their device, so then they can address it. So the second thing that needs to be included in our CAPA procedure is steps for investigating the cause of nonconformities relating to product processes and the quality system. So it's really important that manufacturers have guidelines and steps in place for determining why products, processes, or the quality system aren't meeting standards. Because if companies can't determine what is causing these nonconformities, it makes it extremely difficult to rectify them later on the CAPA process.
For subsection 3, we must be able to identify the action or actions that are necessary to correct and prevent reoccurrence of non-conforming products or other quality problems that may occur.
Each manufacturer should verify the corrective and preventive action to ensure that such action is effective and does not adversely affect the finished device. The manufacturer should determine the root cause of non-conformities while ensuring the corrective actions are implemented and effective. Each manufacturer should establish and maintain procedures for initiating preventive actions to deal with problems that alone will correspond to the risk, while implementing and recording changes in the procedures resulting from preventive action.
So subsection 6 of the corrective and preventative actions has to do with ensuring that information related to quality problems or non-conforming product is disseminated to those directly responsible for assuring the quality of such product or the prevention of such problems. So here communication is key in how it is spread to directly to those involved with the quality of the product or the prevention of such problems. Subsection 7 of the corrective and preventative actions is submitting relevant information on identified quality problems as well as corrective and preventative actions for management review. So this can be accomplished by determining which records in the recent corrective and preventative actions event were submitted for management review, and review the raw data submitted for management review and not actual results of the management review.
For subsection B of corrective and preventative action, all activities required under this section and their results shall be documented. This means that every single bit of manufacturing that includes processing, operations, investigation of nonconformities, and identifying of such issues, the validation of the processes, and the implementation of such issues must all be recorded, must be documented, and saved for management.
In other words, as shown in the image, in order to fulfill the corrective and preventive action, different phases have to be met. For the first phase, shown in that middle section of the image in white, It's to document the issue by explaining who, what, when, where, why, and how many. For that second phase down, it's based off of patient user compliance risks. Low risk and high risk issues should be documented to see which risks are most urgent. For the third phase, sorting, reworking, and reprocessing the device to prevent impact in the short term and prevent further production and distribution. For phase 4, it's more to perform investigations such as brainstorming, flowcharting, just to determine the root cause of the problem. For phase 5, it's more for long-term solutions to resolve or eliminate the cause of the issue and any potential cause of issues. Phase 6 is corrective and preventive actions, such as training and process modifications, when they're initiated and applied to address the main causes of the issue. For phase 7, it's to verify that corrections, containment, corrective actions, and preventive actions were all implemented. So basically, it's just proof that everything was done the way it should be. For phase 8, it's to establish and define predetermined criteria to verify that corrective and preventive actions were effective. So showing no reoccurrence would be a good way to go. Phase 9 is reviewing and documenting the predetermined criteria. And phase 10 is just to close things off. It's when things are successfully completed or unsuccessfully. But if it was unsuccessful, then they recommend for the process to be done from the beginning all over.
Hi, my name is Jim Morris, and I work with NSF International. I'd like to introduce a concept called the CAPA hierarchy. At NSF, we do a tremendous amount of root cause analysis training, and we help companies improve their investigation system and their investigation reports. We put forward a good number of tools, and the CAPA hierarchy is one of the most simple yet most powerful tools in our toolbox. I'd like to explain how it works, provide some context, and also offer some tips on its implementation. First, some context. There are 3 facts to bear in mind. The number one cited weakness in pharmaceutical quality management systems today is the investigation system. Secondly, we spend a tremendous amount of time conducting investigations and writing investigation reports in our companies. And thirdly, we see a lot of recurring issues. Whether you're a small site managing, say, 100 investigations a year, or a larger site managing upwards of 1,000 to 1,200 investigations a year, 10 to 20% of those will be reoccurring. That's a significant number. It also represents a significant opportunity, and that's where the CAPA hierarchy plays a role. So how does it work? Picture a sliding scale with elimination at one end and mitigation at the other, and in between we have replacement, facilitation, and detection. Often what investigators will do is they'll conduct their root cause analysis, identify corrective and preventative actions, and often those corrective and preventative actions, or CAPAs, are at the lower end of the scale. They may come up with a way to detect the defect and remove it. They may come up with a way to facilitate a task, but often in doing so, they're adding complexity, adding steps to an SOP. And what we want to do is encourage investigators to move up the CAPA hierarchy and identify ways to replace the technique, to replace a step, or eliminate the root cause altogether. As an example, take a solid oral manufacturing operation where you have blending, tableting, and subsequently packaging. And let's say you have an issue at the blending step, specifically around sample handling and testing. Well, why not eliminate the test at the blend step and test downstream at the tableting step? We've essentially eliminated the root cause. I know it's not that simple, and I know that there can be regulatory implications, but we need to think out of the box, and we need to think elimination. That's the beauty of the CAPA hierarchy. It provides a structured approach that literally forces investigators to think of robust CAPAs. Another advantage of the CAPA hierarchy is that it's relatively straightforward to implement. Granted, it requires that investigators and reviewers already understand root cause analysis, but it provides them with a methodology so that they can identify the most robust corrective and preventative actions. We have found that companies that embrace the CAPA hierarchy not only improve investigation reports, but they can significantly reduce the level of reoccurrence in their companies. And that's where the true value lies. Thanks for your time.